instead of doing the first 15 or so minutes on YouTube, we're just going to do the whole thing on YouTube for this week. Next week, we'll do the first 15, and then we'll come over and do we'll come over to Rumble and do the uncensored show. But for the first week, unless people really like it, if people really like it and I don't get banned from YouTube immediately, we'll just keep doing the whole show on YouTube. I'm okay with that until YouTube gives me trouble. As long as they don't, try to ban me, I have no problem doing both the whole show on both. But I do like being rowdy and uncensored. So there might be days where you just get the beginning. I digress. We got Johnson calling Trump an informant. That's interesting. That's a take I didn't foresee that being said. Let's I guess is the best way to put it. We have a major ice raid in Georgia. I think there was a couple hundred Koreans working in a car factory. And then it looks like the National Guard might be deployed to Portland. So, hey, I'm all for it. I am all for it. It's one of those things. I'm not a huge fan of the military being deployed if there's an issue, the National Guard being deployed if there's an issue. But we're kind of at a point where the left isn't obeying the law anyway. The left isn't enforcing the law. Someone's got to do it. So it's kind of a rock and a hard place kind of situation. And when you get pushed in between a rock and a hard place, you got to do something. You got to do. You're gonna get squished. So I guess Trump is being preemptive, or Trump is preparing for a win in the midterms, which would lead to mass rioting. Because I've noticed it's been kind of chill. The riot season hasn't been rioting too much. Usually fall riots kick up because summer's hot. Nobody wants to riot in the summertime. That's usually people want to riot in the spring. They kind of chill out a little bit in the summer and then riot in the fall a little bit more. Nobody wants to riot when it's 100 degrees. Or you'll see a lot of riots at night during the summer. You don't see those middle of the day protests quite so much. Anyway, let's get into our first story. Mike Johnson said that Donald Trump is an FBI informant on the Epstein case. Maybe that would be an interesting plot twist. That I definitely didn't see that one coming. Let's see here. So we got it pulled up here on the old X. And here we have Mike Johnson saying that Trump is an FBI informant. Let's give it a listen.
He's not saying that what Epstein did is a hoax. It's a terrible, unspeakable evil. He believes that himself. When he first heard the rumor, he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. He was an FBI informant to try to take this stuff down. The president knows and has great sympathy for the women who have suffered these unspeakable harms. It's detestable to him. He and I have spoken about this as recently as 24 hours ago. And he's not saying that what Epstein did is a hoax. It's a terrible, unspeakable evil. He believes that himself. When he first heard the rumor, he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. He was an FBI informant to try to...
There you have it. He kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. He was an FBI informant. Hey, that's an interesting twist that I didn't see coming. Trump, the FBI informant, it never came up on my radar. That's why they're not putting out the Epstein files. I kind of figured Trump's mentioned in there somewhere, and it's going to look real bad. So we'll just wait until after midterms. But And then we have from The Independent here. Donald Trump was an FBI informant on Jeffrey Epstein, Republican Mike Johnson claims. I hate autoplay on things. I also hate this. Why did you put this here? I don't want... I paused it. I don't want it. Donald Trump was an FBI informant on convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein, a senior Republican has claimed. You already named him. Why say a senior? That's so dumb. Mike Johnson also told CNN that Trump thought what Epstein did was a terrible, unspeakable evil, and that the U.S. president had been misrepresented throughout the controversy over the files during his second term. Mr. Johnson's comments came after months of speculation regarding a client list that attorney Pam Bondi said in February was sitting on her desk. The Wall Street Journal later reported that Ms. Bondi had informed Mr. Trump that his name had appeared several times on the list, which is understood to have included names of influential figures associated with the sex offender. Look at that fucking face. I would love to just resurrect him and beat the shit out of him. I really would. I think we got two things here. First of all, I think Pam Bondi is a terrible attorney general. I think Pam Bondi needs to just shut up. Like, she needs to shut the hell up and get in the kitchen. Okay, she does not belong anywhere near any sort of authority or any sort of television. She just no. She doesn't even belong in a room with a television. She's an idiot. Like, certifiably stupid. She does and says dumb shit. I don't think she should be doing and saying the dumb shit she does and says. I think she runs her mouth. I think she says stupid shit and doesn't think about it. I just think she's kind of an idiot. I think there probably never was a client list. They probably were like, oh, well, what about the client list? Oh, I've got it on my desk, actually. You really think that if there was a client list, they've been sitting on it for how long? You think they wouldn't have destroyed it by now? You think they wouldn't have burned it, shredded it, whatever? If there was legitimately a client list, do you believe that it still exists in 2025? They had 4 years, at least 4 years. I think, what year did Epstein die? When did Epstein die? 2019. So yeah, they had a whole Democrat term where they could have done whatever with this client list. You really think they didn't destroy it? You really think that wasn't shredded? If they had it in the first place. They don't have a client list. And if they do, you can't trust it. It's been how they've either redacted or they've edited it or they've destroyed it. There's no way, unless you have the little black book from Epstein himself, there's no way there's a certifiable, verifiable Epstein client list at this point. It's just an answer we're never going to have. It's been destroyed if it existed in the first place. There's no Epstein list. It's gone. Now, Maxwell might still have a list. Maxwell might still have a list hidden somewhere. But the Epstein list, the quote-unquote Epstein list that everybody's after, it doesn't exist. Any documentation Epstein had about this stuff is gone. It's gone. He's destroyed it. Well, he did destroy it, but I mean, they had 2021, 2022, 2023 to destroy it, and 2024 to destroy it. They had 4 straight years to get rid of this. You know how many people were implicated on that list? You know how many businessmen, how many executives, how many ex-presidents, how many possibly sitting presidents? You know how many people were on that list? Of course they destroyed it. Because if that list got out, it would cause anarchy. People would go nuts. People would riot in the streets if that list got out. Of course it's destroyed. There is no Epstein list anymore. There might have been at one point. There might have been one. It's gone now. It is destroyed. It doesn't exist. As for Trump being an informant, the only way there could be a semblance of an Epstein list is if Trump legitimately was an informant and Trump somewhere was documenting the comings and goings of Epstein. I don't think that's the case, considering that when the allegations of Epstein being a sex offender came out, Trump completely disowned him and cut ties with him. I don't think that that's something that we're going to have. It's possible that Trump, maybe he wasn't an informant, but maybe he testified. That's possible. I don't see Trump going in with a fucking tape recorder duct taped to his chest and Jeffrey, tell me about the offensive sex you have with minors and getting answers. Well, actually, I guess it would be Jeffrey. I hear you like him young. Tell me about it. I would imagine it would be something along those lines. Also, like you would think that would have come out by now. Like this is one of the biggest. This is one of the biggest stories ever. Then again, Pam Bondi said that Trump was in the. Did she say he was in the list, or did she say he was? Hold on. Yeah, it said that Trump appeared several times on the list. So does that mean maybe Trump was acting as an informant? Maybe Trump publicly was like, "Yeah, we're done," and then there was some secret. Hey, I still wanna hang out because I have this tape recorder. I'm gonna record everything you do and say. I still want to come, but I got to bring this bodyguard who's not an FBI agent and totally not recording everything. Like I don't know. I find it a little ridiculous. I would imagine the fact of the matter probably is Trump testified or something, and Johnson just misspoke, or Johnson might be an idiot and he might get testifying and FBI fucking. FBI informants mixed up. I guess if you testify, you're an FBI informant to Mike Johnson. I could see Trump testified. That makes sense to me. Yes, that's plausible. Trump being an FBI informant just doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm sorry. I like I want Trump to be James Bond in this story too. And like on his deathbed, Trump's gonna be like, I got him. I got the list. Here it is. I'm gonna die now. But no, I don't think that's going to happen. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong because that would be my 2025 bingo card did not have Trump as a federal informant on it. But it is possible they want to keep this quiet because if Trump was a federal informant, then there's going to be a lot of people who were on Epstein Island that have to answer a lot of questions, and that could potentially be bad for Trump as the sitting president. I mean, that would make him a lot of enemies. Not that he doesn't have a lot already, but that would make it quite a bit worse. I don't know. I think this story is silly. Anyway, let's jump to our next story from Fox News. Trump backs ICE raid at Hyundai plant, but says U.S. needs foreign experts to train Americans. Wrong. We don't. President Donald Trump said Sunday that while U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement was right to arrest South Korean immigrants working illegally at a Hyundai battery plant in Georgia, the U.S. should consider letting foreign experts temporarily stay to train Americans in advanced industries. Homeland Security investigations said 475 people, mostly South Koreans, were arrested at the under construction battery plant. Hyundai said it owns the site, but insisted none of the workers were directly employed by the company. When asked about the ICE operation on Sunday, Trump told reporters the U.S. needs experts who know how to build batteries to help train Americans with no such expertise. I don't buy that for a minute. Near where I live, there's a battery plant. They make batteries for the Hummer EV truck thing that GMC makes. They make batteries for that thing, and I don't think there was a bunch of South Koreans here. It was pretty much Americans. You drove by and there was Americans there. There's Americans working there. I'm gonna laugh my ass off when this place gets raided tomorrow and it's like all Mexicans. There's a lot of people. I've talked to people that work there, and they're not like, "Oh my God, there's so many Mexicans here. Oh my God, there's so many South Koreans." They're like, it's a lot of people from the area. It's people that live here. We don't need. My point is, We don't need people from South Korea to teach Americans how to make batteries. We have people in America that know how to make batteries. Now, obviously, General Motors probably isn't going to give up their information to Hyundai. I sure as hell wouldn't. And it's Hyundai, not Hyundai. I don't like people that say Hyundai. It drives me up the wall. So if you say Hyundai, you're wrong. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I wish I was sorry, but it's not my fault. You were retarded. I digress. I lost my spell. I lost where I was reading when I was monologuing. Fuck. Shit. Somebody patter for me while I figure this out. Where was I? This throat thing, this sinus drainage thing. I can't say what I want to say because we're live on YouTube and it'll get shut down for sure. But Kurt Cobain. That's what it makes me. That's how it makes me feel. Kurt Cobain. Anyway, he continued to explain that the best way to train people is to bring people who know what they are doing, while also letting them stay in the U.S. for a little while to help. No, Trump, no. Stop letting people come into the United States. Fuck them all. You're not from here? Sucks to suck. I don't care. I don't feel bad for you. I have no sympathy, no empathy, no any other thing for you. I don't care. You're not an American citizen. You don't belong here. Go away. I don't care what you know how to do. I don't care what you think you can do. I don't give a shit. Anyway, let's move to our last story from opb.org. Now, I've never used these. I've never used this site before, so I don't know how reliable they are. Quote, like living in hell, Trump hits Portland could be next city to see National Guard on streets. Ooh, girl, get it. President Donald Trump, on Friday, said Portland could be one of the next cities he'll target with National Guard troops. I love that phrasing. When asked at a press brief if he'd decided which city he would deploy troops to next, the president first said that, while he has made a decision, he's not prepared to share his plans. He referenced a TV report he saw Thursday about ongoing protests against U.S. immigration's custom enforcement in Portland. Portland, it's unbelievable what's going on in Portland. The destruction of the city. I'm going to look at it now, Trump said, in a likely reference to a recent report on Fox News. I love how they, like that's not even news. That's just speculation. Like, this is supposed to be a news article. You're just speculating. You're just like throwing shit. You're just throwing shade at Fox News. Like, why are you like, yeah, probably Fox News, where all the other stupid people get their news. Big dumb dummy face with your dumb face. That kills me. I love when they're just for no reason they speculate. The story showed reading's hard. The story showed the resident of an apartment near the ICE building complaining about lost sleep and frustration due to noisy protests. It also claimed that Portland police are refusing to respond to assaults associated with these protests. We'll be able to stop that very easily, Trump said. I wouldn't mind seeing the National Guard in riot gear with some 40 mics, just some fucking tear gas into the crowd. That would be, that's my preferred method if you play Ready or Not. That's like my preferred method to get an S ranking, is I'll just take the 40 mic with, I'm sorry, I'm autistic. If you don't know what a 40 mic is, it's a what's the word I'm looking for here? 40 mic is the mic is the phonetic alphabet for the letter M. So 40 mic is the nickname, I guess, for the 40 millimeter grenade launcher. That was a long way to say. I could have just said 40 mic is 40 millimeter grenade launcher. So anyway, the 40 mic is 40 mm, 40 millimeter. So if you play Ready or Not, if you don't, just completely ignore this. If you play Ready or Not, most maps, it doesn't work for Neon Tomb and it doesn't work for Elephant, but I think it works for every other map. If you equip your squad with door jams and a shit ton of tear gas, and then you rock the 40 millimeter launcher with tear gas, you can just gas people out. Like you just door jam every door into the building, and then you door jam every door into a room except for one, and then you just like fill that room with tear gas, and 9 times out of 10 they give up. It's amazing. So that, and like a beanbag shotgun, and you're gonna S rank almost every map except for Neon Tomb and Elephant. I don't know how you S rank Neon Tomb. I don't know how you S rank Elephant because I like to violence when it comes to Neon Tomb and Elephant. I think it's just the kind of person I am. I do not want to S rank because to get an S rank, you can't kill the bad guys. You have to arrest all the bad guys. But Elephant is a school shooting. It's a college shooting, and Neon Tomb is a nightclub shooting. So it's like, yeah, I don't want to arrest you. I just want to put you in the dirt and end the threat. Oh, and there's also a hospital one, which is, I think, pretty difficult to do the 40 millimeter strategy with. The other option is just a shit ton of flashbangs, just like so many flashbangs. But I digress. I'm done. I'm done talking about Ready or Not. Maybe I'll play Ready or Not one day. But my point is, it works really well in the game, and I would love to see the National Guard roll in to these protests, kitted out in gas masks, and just start chucking tear gas into the crowd. Like, you guys want to be disruptive assholes? Sucks to suck. I will say one more thing for Ready or Not. If you play Ides of March, the enemies are veterans, and so they are almost immune to tear gas. They don't give a shit. Like, they don't like it, but they can deal with it, which I thought was a neat little detail because they have to go through the gas chamber. Even if it is brief during their basic training, they still have to go through it. It's pretty neat. Anyway, back to the news. I just think it would be cool to see, a bunch of National Guard dudes fucking breaking out their 40 millimeter grenade launchers and their tear gas canisters, just thump, and then just wait, and then the road's clear. I wonder though, like, okay, so you're in a city, and say the National Guard comes in and they start tear gas and everything. How sealed is your house? Like, is tear gas going to start getting pumped through my central air unit? Like, or if I have like a window unit, like a window air conditioner unit, is it just going to pull all that CS gas into my house? Because that wouldn't be rad. That would be terrible. I wouldn't be a fan of that. I would be pretty angry, honestly, if I'm just sitting in my house, minding my business, watching Top Gear, and somebody decides to be a dick in the street, and now I'm fucking pouring snot out of my face, crying. I wouldn't be happy about that. Maybe we shouldn't do that. I don't know exactly how tear gas works. Okay, I don't know if it disperses that easily or if it's more like centralized. I've never been tear gassed, believe it or not. I guess that's what happens when you don't fucking riot over stupid shit. You don't get tear gassed. Weird. Who'd have thought it? Don't riot. Crazy. Like that. Of all the advice I could give you in life, I didn't think don't riot would be advice that I had to give you. Don't riot, and you won't know what tear gas feels like, unless you're a veteran. In which case, don't work for the government, and you won't know what tear gas feels like. I digress. Yeah, if they're rioting, if they're protesting, here's the thing, right? It stops being a protest when cars get flipped over. It stops being a protest when people die. It stops being a protest when things get lit on fire. Once that happens, it's not a protest anymore. It's just you and your buddies being shitheads, burning shit down. It's just, that's all it is. You and your buddies are just lighting things on fire for the sake of it. That's not a protest. That's just you and your buddies lighting things on fire for no reason. I'm sorry if that offends you. You're probably the guy lighting things on fire for no reason. This is one of the things I don't understand about sports, right? I can clear this up. We're done. Damn it. That's one of the things I don't get about sports, right? You see a sports ball team win a sports ball outing, and then the winning team, a lot of times the home team, goes out and destroys the city they live in. Why? Why do you do that, sports ball fans? I don't get, like, it makes no sense to me that, like okay, so the closest big city to me is Cleveland, right? So say I'm a Cleveland Indians fan or whatever, Guardians, is that what they're called? Yeah, Guardians. Say I'm a Guardians fan. I'm sorry, it's the Indians. I don't care if you're offended by that. It's the Indians. It's always been the Indians for me. And I'm not a sports ball fan at all, but like I grew up with the Cleveland Indians, and I'm not going to play this woke game because the name Indians came from honoring a Native American player. So yeah, no. I digress though. My point here is if I go to an Indians game and the Indians win, why on earth would I flip some car over in Cleveland and light it on fire? Like, I get being excited, but like, why do people do that? Why do you do that, sports ball fans? Also, like, why are you willing to fist fight each other over a sports ball game? I remember when I was a kid, my dad and I and his wife at the time went to an Indians game, and my dad almost got into a fight with the security guy because I was standing like we were sitting a couple rows up, and I'm blind as shit. Like I can't see. I am like when I say I'm nearsighted, I mean like I am the most nearsighted you can be. I am blind. Like 3 feet away is fuzzy to me. So I didn't have glasses at the time. I'm just watching all these fuzzy dudes in white running around, right? Because everyone's wearing white. It's just some like the Indians at the time. It was a white jersey and it said Indians across the front. Well, guess what? Little, I don't know, 7, 8-year-old me, I'm blind. I can't read that. And even if I could, that shit's in cursive. So I walk down the little thing and my dad's like, yeah, go ahead. I don't care. Because I'm like that. I can't see. Like, I can't see nothing. And like, we're not like close to the field by any means. Like we're way up in the cheap seats. And the security dude like comes up to me and he's like, what are you doing? And my dad's like, that's my son. What do you want? And the guy's like, he can't be here. He needs to be in a seat. My dad's like, no, he doesn't. Like, it's a baseball game. He can stand there. There's no one around us. Like, there's some people around, but it's not like, oh my gosh, it's so busy. He's distracting people. It's like it's not a big deal. And this dude makes it a big deal. So that happens, and then we leave because I think it was the 7th inning. They were just getting obliterated. It was a terrible game. They were just getting destroyed. So by the 7th inning, we were all kind of like, yeah, we drove all the way up to Cleveland to see this. Like, this kind of sucks. Like, it's getting cold. They're losing bad. Like, just go home. Like the food was terrible. I think we got hot dogs and they were like not good at all. They were barely warm. They were just like gross, cheap hot dogs. And like we all were just collectively having a bad time. And we all just kind of like made a decision. And we were kind of like, we just go home. Like, can we just leave? Like, this sucks. Let's go. Cut our losses. We'll go home. We'll beat the rush. As we're leaving, we get down to the parking lot. We find our car. As we're leaving, some dude almost hits us. So that immediately triggers the thing. My dad has really bad road rage. Don't ever fuck with my dad when he's in the car because he might beat the shit out of you. I've seen it in real life. I'll tell that story after this one. So anyway, that turns into a whole thing where we're like driving down the road and they're screaming at each other and like my dad makes a wrong turn and now we're lost and trying to figure out how to get turned back around to get on the highway. The dude turns off the other direction at some point because he doesn't want the smoke. and that's just a whole thing. And I just don't understand people that riot, the violence that comes from things like sporting events. Like when sporting events can kick off a riot, I just can't comprehend that. I can't comprehend why people are so aggressive about things like sports. I can understand people rioting about the ice raids, especially because it's something that they think they're super passionate about, and I can understand and respect that. They think that this is some illegal. Excuse me. They think this is some illegal action that's happening, and it's not. The thing that I don't get is like I get these yawn. It's like a half yawn, half burp, and they drag me up the wall, and I don't know what they are, and they make me want to find a nice tall bridge and admire the view at terminal velocity. I digress. I just don't get the violence. Like people get violent about things like sporting events, and like why though? And then you get these people that they go and they protest for things like these ice raids, and it's like, okay, I can understand. There's been a few times I've been like, man, I kind of want to protest. Like I was down to protest when I was down to protest lockdowns. Actually, like I was really thinking about protesting lockdowns. I was very anti-lockdown, believe it or not. I didn't think it was constitutional. Whether or not it was the right thing to do, I don't care. We don't do that here. I thought it was a very authoritarian thing. I thought it was a big step in the wrong direction, and I thought it was something that shouldn't have been done. And we saw people riot over lockdowns, and I was like, yeah, I kind of would too. Like, our lockdowns weren't bad in Ohio, though. We weren't locked down very long. But to this day, it is almost impossible to find a business that's open after 11 o'clock. That was something that went into action with the lockdowns, and it never went back. I can see why people rioted over that. I don't understand people rioting over sports. I don't understand that. I don't understand people rioting over illegal immigrants being removed from our country. I don't understand that at all. Like I can totally get why people would riot sometimes. These people just seem to want to riot and burn down every city. I'm sorry, but if you're rioting and burning down cities, then I guess you get what you get, and ICE is gonna fucking come get you. I hope. But anyway, so I'll tell the story about my dad's road rage now, because I said I would, and it's a funny story. So I was too young to drive, and we were coming home. I forget where we were coming home from. But we were coming home. We came off the highway. And this dude, again, I was too young to drive. I'm not going to say if I was driving, but there is a high probability I was in the driver's seat. My dad didn't believe in learner's permits. He didn't believe in waiting. I was driving at like 12, 13 years old. I was driving on the streets. So, that's a thing. That's the thing you should. It happens, right? Because like when my dad learned how to drive, like they lived out in the middle of nowhere-ish. Like it was a small town, but like 5 minutes that way was the middle of nowhere. And so like they were just like, "Hey, get in! You gotta learn how to drive. Come on." And it's like, "I'm 12, Dad. Get in the car. I don't give a shit." We're So he grew up like that, and plus, I mean, he grew up in like the 70s when like that wasn't like a big deal. So, I ended up growing up like that. And when I was a kid, we kind of lived in an area where it's like, yeah, like not the middle of nowhere, but like there's no cops this way. We'll go this way. The cops, there's no cops this way. And so, one day it started out in the woods, obviously, learning how to move the vehicle in the woods. And then it gradually evolved to, well, you're already in the driver's seat. You want to drive home? And then it evolved to, well, we're leaving the woods. You want to drive me to the bar? And then it evolved to, well, we're at the bar and I've had a few, so you have to drive home. And then it evolved to this story I'm going to tell. So we're driving home and we're getting off the highway. And this car gets way up my ass. Like, a lot. Like, basically, it was a pickup truck. We were basically, like, this dude was basically in the bed of the truck. Like, he was so close you couldn't see his headlights. So we're driving down the road, and I'm driving to my mom's house because I was living with my mom at the time. I was visitation with my dad. So I'm driving to mom's house. And mom kind of knew, but, like, didn't really pay much attention. Mom knew I drove, but mom didn't know how much I drove. Like, mom didn't realize I was, like, driving on the highway for 30 minutes to get home with dad in the passenger seat, just kind of hanging out. I mean, that was... I might have had my permit at this point. I don't remember, but I don't think I did. So mom never really knew this was a thing. Mom kind of was like, did you just get out of the driver's seat? And I was like, well, yeah, but, like, I just, like, around the block. I would bluff. Because I don't want my dad to get in trouble. And obviously, I don't want to get chewed out because I don't want to get told, no, you can't drive anymore. So I'm like, well, yeah, but, like, there's a church down the road, and we pulled into the church parking lot, and I just, like, around the block to get home, and it was just on the back road. So, it's okay. And my mom would just get in the house. Just get in the house. I'm done with this. Get in the house. So we're getting off the highway. This car is, like, so far up my ass, they're giving us rectal exams. And we're driving. We turn off the highway, off the ramp, and we're driving towards my mother's house. And this car is just up my ass. Like tailgating the hell out of me. And I would usually go, like, 5 or 10 over, still do to this day. Don't tell my boss that. But, it's kind of an acceptable thing. You crime just a little bit. And, I would go 5 or 10 over. Not enough to get pulled over, but, enough that you're, like, not in the way. And this car is just, like, tailgating me. And so finally the road splits off into 4 lanes. And so it splits off into 4 lanes, and then immediately there's a red light. Which makes no sense to me, but whatever. So it splits off. Dude cuts me off to get back in front of me because it splits off into 4 lanes, red light, and then condenses back into 2 lanes. Really dumb. Like, it's really... Like, it's like we had extra tax money. What do we do with it? And that's what they did with it. So this dude fucking cuts me off, and then the light turns red. So he cuts me off, slams on the brakes because the light turns red. I slam on the brakes. And my dad's yelling at this guy out the window because my dad's a little racist, and the guy was from one of those countries where they don't let women read, the Middle Eastern ones, the ones where people explode if you look at them the wrong way. And so my dad's yelling polite things at him, giving him friendly nicknames. And mid-friendly nickname giving, the dude flips my dad off, which for some reason just set him off. Like, you can cut us off, you can brake check us, but if you flip me off, that's it. And so my dad gets out of the truck, and I'm like, Dad, what are you doing? Like, what do you do? And I'm like, don't leave me here. I don't know how to handle this situation. I'm, like, borderline having a panic attack. And the dude's got his window down. And my dad just reaches in the window and just starts punching the shit out of this dude. Because he was being a dick for, like, 15 minutes. And so my dad's just punching this dude, and I just see him like a bobblehead, like, leaning over in the passenger seat and springing back up. At a certain point, like, you would think that you would just stop springing back up, but, like, yeah, my dad just, like, kept through the window, just left-handed, too. And as a recipient of a few of my dad's punches, kudos to that dude's jaw, because, now, Dad was pretty drinky pooed up, so he might not have been the most accurate, but I was watching the punches connect, and then dude would fall over into the passenger seat and spring back up. And then he tried to get out of the car, but he never put his car in park. So he got back in his car and took off. Long story short, people do weird shit. people do weird things because I've road raged a time or two, and I've never come close to beating the shit out of some dude. Well, I've come close. I've never actually done it though. I've never beat the shit out of somebody in a road rage incident. That was an interesting event. And then, being the adult that I am now, I just wondered, like, what if my dad would have walked up to that window and the dude would have just pulled out a 38 and put 6 holes in my dad? Not the smartest if you're watching, old man. That was not your best idea. I don't get it. What causes people to be like that? Because whatever that is, it's the same thing that causes people to riot and burn down cities, and it's the same thing. Whatever that is that causes people to be violent like that. And I can understand from my dad's perspective, like he's protecting his son, he's going on the offensive because this dude's been sketchy for 15, 20 minutes on the road now. He's been aggressive, he's been assertive to say the least. And so, from my dad's perspective, it kind of makes sense. Like, I'm protecting my child. I'm going on the offensive here to protect my child. It kind of made a little bit of sense in that. But it's just like, man, not a great idea because, that dude could have, shot you. Probably not your smartest moment. I appreciate the gesture. Thanks, Dad. You made me the man I am today. An angry, grumpy old man. That's what I'm becoming. Becoming a lot like you. Good luck to the rest of the world if I become a lot like him, because he is an angry, grumpy old man. I will tell you that. He is angry and he is grumpy and he is not afraid to tell you about it. He does not care about your feelings. He will hurt them. He doesn't care. And the older I get, the angrier and grumpier I get. But I don't want to burn down a city over a sports ball game. I still don't understand that. I don't know what the point of me telling that story was. It was just kind of like the sports ball riot story and then the reminiscence. The rest of that was reminiscence. I'm sorry if you didn't come here for this. I do apologize. That's all I got. The news happened. I just totally. It's my podcast. Eat shit. I can go autistically ramble about the good old days when Dad beat the shit out of people in front of McDonald's. That's all I got. That's all I got. Okay, I'm tapped. So anyway, yeah, news is happening, and my dad has bad road rage. That's all I got for you. So I will see you all in the next one. Like I said, instead of doing the 2 videos, it just kind of didn't make sense because I'm doing the whole show on YouTube as well. So I'm gonna talk about the same story twice on YouTube. We'll just do the whole show for the first week, and then we'll do the first segment on YouTube, family friendly, and then we'll go to Rumble, non-family friendly. Full show. I will cover the first segment. If you don't want to watch on YouTube, if you just want to stay on Rumble, I will cover the first segment that I talked about on YouTube in a not family friendly way. And then the remainder of the show will be, non-family friendly. But YouTube will be family friendly. So don't expect the same tomfoolery and shenanigans you get this week. Expect it to be a little bit more family friendly. And I'm trying to keep it more family friendly, but I kind of forget that I'm on Rumble. I forget that I'm on YouTube and I let the swears flow. It's kind of like in the beginning of the show, I kind of manage it a little better, and then it's going to fall apart by the end. So I'm sorry if your children's are watching and things. I apologize. But anyway, that's all I got. I'll see you all in the next one tomorrow evening at some point. I don't know what time. I don't have a set time. I'm really bad at this whole podcast thing. So tell your friends about me though, because if you like me, they might. At the very least, tell your crazy uncle, because it's the 8th, so you'll probably see this on the 9th. On the 11th, we're probably going to talk about 9/11 or the global war on terror or the killing of bin Laden. So tell your crazy uncle about that, because he's gonna enjoy that. I just don't know if we're going to do it on the 10th, and then you can watch on the 11th, or if I'm just going to do it on the 11th. I might just do it on the 11th. I don't know. But yeah, so we're probably going to talk about that stuff. So to just be warned, if you're here for the news, I I have a tradition of any major holiday or event like 9/11, 4th of July, things like that. I will dedicate my time to that instead of now like Memorial Day and stuff like that. Not so much. I just tend to take the time off. But for 9/11, we'll talk about something related to 9/11. I was thinking about the killing of Bin Laden. I was thinking about talking about that. I might do that. Just like out of respect for everyone that fought and everyone that died, and because maybe Rob O'Neill will see this and be like, "Hey, I like this guy." Maybe that would be kind of cool. Anyway, that's all I got. I'm out. I keep rambling like I'm autistic today, and I'm really tismy today. I feel like I didn't do enough work today, and I feel like I have to keep. I feel like I have to keep working. Like I feel guilty about stopping working right now and calling it for the day. I've only been going for like 14 hours, so I feel bad that I haven't done enough work. I should probably do more, but that's all I got. So I have nothing more to say. I'm going to end this now. I don't know how to end this. Goodbye.